Caps camp is underway, and we're pleased to be joined on site by TJ Oshie, back on the show by popular demand. You may remember, Danny, the last time the Caps were playing in the playoffs against Carolina, Oshie was unavailable.
That's right.
Which I still believe was a big factor in how that series ended. But he was getting all kinds of standing ovations,
rightfully
and his
so,
name
man.
chanted every game. That had to be a really rewarding, cool experience for you, because you were the galvanizing force for the team, even though you weren't on the ice during that playoff series.
It was it was pretty cool, and obviously when you're sitting out, you want to be in there. You want to at least try to do whatever you can for the guys, and so it was when they asked me if I wanted to go on camera and let the fans see me, I was all for it, and kind of on the edge of my seat because I didn't know when they were going to do it. I was kind of sitting up in the press box, and I was like, well, I got to be ready if someone puts a camera on me, but no, we ended up doing. I was going down anyways to watch the game from the locker room in case anything fun happened, so I could get out on the ice. But then when it happened, it was crazy. I kind of blacked out. I can't remember if people were screaming or not, but I saw the video after, and it kind of gives you chills when you get that much support from from the fans.
So this is more of a general question. You're listed at 5'11", 195. Right? That's your Hockey Reference page says. Is that about right?
Yeah.
I'm seeing you now. I see you on the ice. I don't believe that. Like, you play so much bigger than that. There's a lot of 5'11", 195 hanging out. You play way bigger than that. Does that? You see what I'm getting at here? Just kind of in general, I feel like you're more physical. You're all over the place, and people can't move you off the line where you want to go. You take pride in that?
Yeah. I think that's kind of something that started for me playing football when I was younger. I remember I was running back in 7th grade, and that's when things started getting, somewhat physical. Mm-hmm. And none of our running backs would run up the middle and lower their head. And so my coach was like, "Oh, go, just lower your head and try to hit him before he hits you." And I was like, "Okay, fine."
Okay, sure.
And so
Oshie
they just,
smash, yeah.
so they just, I kind of became like the starting running back, and I was the smallest guy on the team, and they would just run me up the middle, and they're like, "I don't care how big he is, just put your head down and knock him over before he hits you." And I kind of transferred that over into hockey at a young age, and knocked down some pretty big guys back in the day. And I don't know, I think I got some good balance from that, and I just love the crashing into guys. I don't know, I love seeing another guy fall down when you don't, or at least getting the best of them if you're going down too.
TJ Oshie on Grant and Danny. A year ago, we were sitting here talking to a couple players, and they all said the right things. Even though it was a short off season, there wasn't a lot of time to prep. Everyone seemed to be ready to go. You guys win the division, you get 100 points. So it wasn't like you guys weren't yourselves. But I wonder, is there any difference physically for you after a longer time off right now than a year ago?
Yeah, I think so. I think last summer was basically everyone, or me for sure, but I feel like everyone, they were just trying to get their bodies back prepared to be able to play back to 100%. Because when the season ends, everyone's hurting from something. There's 2 weeks after the parade, you wake up and you're like, my shoulder, like what was going on? And so really the whole summer was getting everything moving correctly, getting back to 100%, and not necessarily putting on that weight and that muscle that you lose during the season. With the long summer, you can start training in, May. Mine was a little later because I had the collarbone, so I was put up for a little while. But still, you're training in June. You get 3 full months of working out. You're putting on muscle now that's going to stick with you longer, and hopefully you'll hold that on until the postseason. But usually you lose a little bit through we play so many games.
How many fewer ounces do you think were consumed of alcohol this offseason compared to last offseason collectively as a team?
Collectively, ounces, thousands, hundreds, thousands probably of ounces. I don't know.
Have you ever seen Beer Fest?
How many liters?
So when landfill get drowned in the giant vat of beer? I imagine that's the difference.
That's probably close. There was a lot. There was a lot in those first 3 days. We definitely pushed the limits.
Was that your biggest bender of your life? Like, was that – because college kids, you have like a weekend at some point with a big football game or something. Was that like your 3 days that – because you're not supposed to do that at 30. You do that at like 19,
Yeah.
How long did it take to recover?
It wasn't close to my longest, no. I was I got kids at home, so it was it was 3 days. The parade was a couple days later. I'd only had like I think maybe 3 beers at the parade, so that wasn't. And I went home after and put the kids in and went to bed. So, but those 3 days there was a lot, but there was times when I was young and stupid and getting in trouble back in the old days that it was a little bit more, and I'm not too proud of it, but I did it, and I did it with a little flash.
TJ Oshie with us here, Grant and Danny, live at Capitals Media Day here. How do you view last year? How do you – because you guys obviously had a good season, right? It wasn't the Stanley Cup year of the year before, which is a pretty high bar because only one team gets to hoist it, right? But last year you guys bounced back, went through what you went through, different coach and everything. You still over 100 points and won the division. How do you view it?
I mean, I view it as a failure. I don't know, maybe that's harsh, but not much changed from, the year we won it to last year. We had a lot of the same guys, pretty much the same core. Holtz, I think, still played really good for us. So we had all the pieces. I think we just didn't. It didn't look like we played like we wanted it. There was a handful of guys that did. Ovi, Nick was phenomenal. I think Tom played really well. John, Holtz, kind of our leaders really. Mm-hmm. That, and especially when you get up in the stands and you have to watch and you see what guys are, giving it their all and really laying their body on the line. And I think that intensity just wasn't where we had it the year before, and that's not something has to do with structure or coaching or anything like that. That's just the guys coming together and bringing the best out of each other, and I don't think we did a good enough job of that last year.